Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Welcome back, everyone. We're joined by Scott Haugen. If you want to get a hold of Scott, there's a number of ways that you can do so, either be through social media as well as he is a world-renowned author as well, but we'll get to that here in a second. Scott, okay, so I'm not going to try to pigeonhole anybody into a certain box, but I know that you spend a lot of time with a rifle in hand all around the world, and our rifle season starts here in Oregon and in Washington, although I know there's a couple up there already. But that kicks off here in just a couple of weeks. Understanding where we are now, what should folks be paying attention to so that they can make a plan to be successful when they get out there?
You know, probably the two biggest mistakes I see by folks are they cover too much ground without glassing it thoroughly, and they're not ready to take a shot. You know, I ran into a guy on public land a few years back. I was hunting Wyoming mule deer season, and ran into a guy just wandering out the hills of the sagebrush, and he's like, "Man, this is an awesome season." He said, "I've shot at 4 bucks already and haven't got one, but I will." And it's like, are you kidding me? You know, and the mentality of shooting to hope you're going to, you know, or think you might kill something is something that I can't even relate to. When it comes time to take a shot at an animal, if I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to kill that animal in one shot, I'm not taking the shot. If there's a question of the angle or the lighting or the animal's moving or it's too far, it's too windy, or I can't control my breathing, then I'm never in the scope thinking at the moment I'm getting ready to squeeze the trigger, gosh, I hope I hit it. You know, if it's not 100% dead, then I'm not pulling the trigger. And if I miss, I'm usually just baffled as to why. And a lot of that just comes down to preparation. Number one, knowing your gun. By the time it comes time to hunt, you should know every aspect of your gun where you can work everything without looking at it. When you see an animal, the only thing you want to be thinking about is how you're going to kill it. Not what's the scope going to do, what power should it be on. All that should be figured out. You know, you can make adjustments here and there, but all of it should be figured out without looking at the gun. Know where the safety is, know what your trigger's pull is going to be, so forth. And that's going to come with shooting off of a rest. A tripod shooting rest is way better than a bipod, which is way better than a monopod. If I don't have a steady rest, I'm not shooting. Laying on the ground prone is great. I can count on one hand the number of animals I've shot all around the world, and I've shot hundreds of them laying down prone. You just don't get the relief of it, especially here in Oregon, where you have so much hilly country, so much timber, brush, and so forth. So a tripod is fantastic. If I'm shooting on a tripod, if I can get set up in the shooting sticks where I'm sitting down cross-legged with both elbows on both knees with the gun solid in there, it's like you're shooting off of a bench. So don't be in a rush. That's another thing. A lot of times when I see people getting ready to shoot at an animal, they're in a rush. And then the adrenaline gets going. A lot of times there's no need to be in a rush, especially if that animal has no clue you're there. So, shot preparation is one. Another thing is glassing. Take time to thoroughly glass an area. Don't just get to the edge of a unit or a hillside and be looking and it's like, okay, there's nothing there. A lot of these big bucks they're bedded 2 hours before the sun comes up, and they're in their spot where they're going to be, maybe until almost dark. So they're there, and you need to look for those body parts. The white throat patch of a mule deer or a blacktail, or a tail flickering or ear if flies get on them. Later in the morning when it heats up. So if the sun gets on an animal, a lot of times they'll get up, they'll move around the other side of a bush or a stump or somewhere to bed in the shade. So if you've found where animals are, if you've scouted in the summer and done your homework and you know where those animals are, you're looking for a deer. When it comes to the time of the season to hunt, I'm hunting a specific animal. I'm not looking for good places to hunt. I've already done my homework, so now I'm looking for deer.
So preparation and patience is what I got from there.
Exactly.
So I got to, like most folks, we get antsy, right? You get to a spot, you want to glass it, you want to look it over. Rifle changes the game a little bit, everyone. My perspective is primarily from a bow hunter's perspective. We glass it up, we see it, now it's make a move, get to where they are, get in front of them, whatever it might be. With a rifle, though, Scott, you mentioned that, be ready, right? When you're glassing, have your gun ready to go so that if it does happen, you're ready to go, rather than scrambling around trying to figure out how you're going to get yourself mounted correctly or at least the right position. But I want to go back to where you said having a tripod. So if folks are out there rifle hunting and they don't have that tripod in their arsenal or carrying it with them, that sounds like something that they should really consider.
I would not hunt if I couldn't take a tripod, and I take them all over the world. And some of the heavy fiber optic leg ones not fiber optic, carbon fiber legs that they have now, they're sturdier than they used to be. They'll hold up in the wind. They'll hold up to you leaning into them. They're just very solid. Again, we wait all year for this time, and you want to make sure that shot is rock solid. Get a range too. That's another thing I hear all the time, even from bow hunters. Gosh, I thought it was at this range. I don't shoot until I know the exact yardage of an animal. It can be very deceiving shooting an animal that's bedded down, or one that's facing away, or one that's across a canyon. Take a range so you know exactly where that bullet's going to fly.
A good point. I mean, obviously, if you don't know your range, things bad, nothing but bad can come from that, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's unbelievable how many times I hear that a year. Mind-boggling to me. I think it should be a requirement. A rangefinder and a tripod for a rifle hunter should be required gear.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. The story that you had mentioned about the individual that you ran across in the field, or I took 4 shots, but I'm going to get one at some point in time. That's like information, dude. Shut up! Whack! Don't ever say that.
I know. Yeah, hand over your tag and go home. And all offhanded shooting. Who knows if he crippled any, but just that mentality, and that's a mentality that I wish more hunters would take seriously, because you don't want to be out there offhand. There goes one run and I got a shot. If you want to do that, go pheasant hunting.
Yeah, good point, because I love to shoot. I go pheasant hunting. Or you could go band-tail pigeon hunting, because you're going to have to pull the trigger a few times.
That's right.
You're going to have to pull the trigger more than once. I can promise you that. Okay, so Scott, for folks that are watching, I guarantee you that everybody knows who you are, sir, so I'm not taking away from it. But for those folks that might want to follow along with you, what's the best way that they can do so? And I know that you've got, especially for folks that are getting ready for this upcoming rifle season, a couple of books that they can also lean on for info as well.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm fairly active on Instagram, posting things. I post a lot of trail camera pictures. I have over 120 trail cameras now set out for all kinds of critters. But yeah, do a little bit on Facebook. But I'm still writing 250 some magazine articles a year, so there's a lot of information out there on that. My wife has the cookbooks, a big game cookbook. My book, and we're getting close to selling out this 3rd edition, the Trophy Blacktails book. That's still a popular one for folks here in the Pacific Northwest. I'm contemplating writing a second one, but I don't know. I'm getting too old, and not as many people are reading as they used to be. So we'll see. But I've learned a lot. Holy cow, those are humbling deer. Hardest big game animal I've hunted in the world. Consistently getting a mature Columbia blacktail.
Absolutely. If you get that opportunity, folks, make sure you do so. But and don't overlook this. One of the best parts about what we do, everyone, and what Scott and I are talking about, if you're not into hunting itself, maybe you're just fishing, there's a reason why we love to hunt. One, the hunt itself is what it's all about. But when you're lucky enough to take one, the dinner, what's on the table, that's what it's all about. That's what I'm looking forward to. And your wife writes numerous cookbooks, Tiffany, also a great source of information there.
Yeah. And we're here, you and I are here to help people right now. We're not here to entertain, we're here to help people. So people want to learn hunting tips that's out there, cooking tips, what to do. I have a DVD on how to break down and big game in the field, skin them, cape them. So I have an educational DVD on that. So, we're all in the business of helping people, be safer, more successful hunters out there and enjoy their time of field.
Scott, as always, we appreciate you spending a few minutes with us this time of year, especially sharing some of your insight on everything that's going on out here real time. We appreciate that. So that's Scott Haugen, everyone, the original content creator for the outdoors. Let's just go there. But Scott, be safe, sir, when you get out into the field next time, okay?
Thanks, you bet. And people can order those books on the website. Just my name, scotthaugen.com.
Very cool. Scott, take care and say hello to the wife, please.
Yep, keep up the good work.
Take care. All right, everyone, we're going to cut to a break. When we come back, we're going to have the deal of the week from Fisherman's Marine. Don't go anywhere.